with still with chapter 4 with the multiple choice problems. Actually, I gave to you number 17 up to number 42 with the letter answers. Now I'm going to discuss the solutions to number 17 up to whatever number we can finish up to 7 o'clock. Okay? Or before 7. Now, in number 17, the problem is during 20x4, a parent sold inventory priced at 1 million to its subsidiary, and the parent's profits on these sales amounted to 50,000. All inventory sold by the parent to the subsidiary was sold by the subsidiary to outside customers during 20x4. Here is what the parent and the subsidiary report for total sales, cost of goods sold, and ending inventory at December 31, 20x4 for total sales between the parent and subsidiary and to outside customers. So we have now column 1, parents' books, column 2, subsidiaries' books. Then we have the inventory, sales revenue, cost of goods sold. At what amount should the 20x4 consolidated financial statements report these three balances? So what amount of inventory, sales revenue, and cost of goods sold in the combined financial statements? Now, for number 17, there is no unconfirmed profit in beginning or ending inventory. So only the eliminating entry is to debit sales, revenue, and credit cost of goods sold for 1 million pesos. So that's now your number 17. In other words, there is no unconfirmed profit and in the beginning or ending inventory. So the only eliminating entry is to debit sales revenue and credit cost of goods sold for 1 million. Now you are given 1 million above, and that will be the amount that you are going to record in order to eliminate sales and at the same time credit to cost of goods sold. So now we have the amounts. The question is, at what amount should the 20x4 consolidated financial statements report these three balances? So we now have for our answer for number 17. Actually, we have letter C. Okay, now for numbers 18 up to number 21. Pilfer Company acquired 90% ownership of Scourge Corporation in 20x3 at the underlying book value. On that date, the fair value of non-controlling interest was equal to 10% of the book value of Scourge Corporation. Pilfer purchased inventory from Scourge for 90,000 on August 20x4 and resold 70% of the inventory to unaffiliated companies on December 1, 20x4 for 100,000. Screwage produced inventory sold to Pilfer for 67,000. The companies had no other transactions during 20x4. Now, number 18, what amount of sales will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement? Now, our answer to number 18 is C, 100,000 sales to unrelated or unaffiliated companies. So it's only for 100,000 sales to unaffiliated or uh, a company that's not related, no? So it stated that the score rates for 90,000 on August 20 X4 and resold 70% of the inventory to unaffiliated companies on December 31 or December 1, 400,000. So the amount of sales to be recorded in the consolidated income statement is 100,000. We are not going to eliminate this because we have the sales made to outside parties or unrelated or unaffiliated companies. So we cannot eliminate this transaction. In number 19, what amount of cost of goods sold will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement. So we have now for the parent Pilfer, the cost of sales is 67,000. That's 67,000. And then S company or storage company, 63,000. So we now get 67,000 and 63,000, the total of 130,000. Then we deduct intercompany sales of 90,000 and add unrealized profit of in S company. That's 90,000. We multiply by 30% equals 27,000, and then we multiply it by 90 minus 67 over 90. Okay, I'll repeat. The unrealized profit in S company, 90,000 times 30% equals 27,000. And then we multiply it by the result of deducting 90 minus 67 divided by 90. So that gives us 6,900. So we have now 46,900. That's the cost of goods sold that will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement. Next, number 20, the question is, what amount of consolidated net income will be assigned to the controlling interest for 20x4? So the consolidated net income that will be assigned to the controlling interest for 20x4. Now, the amount is computed as follows. To the consolidated net income, we have now for 20x4, P company, by the way, Pilfer company, let's just call it P, and then Scorecage company, we call it S. Now, P company's net income from own or separate operations is 100,000 minus 90,000 multiplied by 70%. Okay, so we have now 100,000 minus 90,000 multiplied by 70% equals 63,000. So 100,000 minus 63,000 equals 37,000. Okay, so there is no realized profit in beginning inventory of S, considering that there is a downstream sale, no unrealized profit in the ending inventory. So B companies realized net income from separate operations is 37,000. Then after 37,000, we are going to consider S company's net income from own operations. S company's net income from own operations is 90,000 minus 67,000 or 23,000. Now that's as company's net income. The realized profit in beginning inventory for upstream sales is 0. And we have the unrealized profit in ending inventory of P company, considering that there is an upstream sales. Now, we have already computed this in number 19 in the amount of 6,900. That is the unrealized profit in the ending inventory of S company. Unrealized profit, I mean in ending inventory of P company for an upstream sales. So what's the amount now? 90,000. We multiply it by 30%, and we have 27,000 times 90 minus 67 multiplied by or over 90,000. So I'll repeat, 90,000 times 30% equals 27,000. And then 27,000, we multiply it by the result of dividing the difference between 90 and 67. That's 23. Divide it by 90. So we now get the amount of 6,900. 6,900. 6,900, the one that we have also computed in number 19. 23,000 minus 6,900. We have 16,100. That's the realized net income from the separate operations of S. So the realized net income from separate operations of S is 16,100. Then we add it to the realized net income from separate operations of P, 37,000. We add 16,100. The total is 53,100. Then that's the consolidated net income for 20x4, 53,100. And we deduct the non-controlling interest in net income. The non-controlling interest in net income of 1,610. Of 1,610. That's a non-controlling interest in net income for 1,610. So that gives us the controlling interest in consolidated net income or profit attributable to equity holders of parent, 51,490. 51,490. That's letter A, the answer to number 20. The answer to number 20 is letter A. Then the last number here is number 21. Or by the way, how did we get 1,610, which is the non-controlling interest in net income? 1,610 is computed as, okay, net income of S company from its own operations for 23,000. And then we deduct the unrealized profit in ending inventory of P company, 6,900. Unrealized profit in ending inventory of P company, 6,900. So the difference is 16,100. That's the realized net income from separate operations of S company. Then you multiply that by the non-controlling interest That's 10%. So 16,100 times 10% is 1,610. That's the non-controlling interest in net income for number 20. Then we go to number 21. In number 21, the question is, what inventory balance will be reported by the consolidated entity on December 31, 20x4? The inventory balance here is to be computed by multiplying 27,000. Okay, now 27,000. And then we multiply it by 67 over 90. We multiply it by 67 over 90. Now, as we know, 27,000 is the result of multiplying 90,000 times 30%. So you get 27,000 and then multiply 27,000 by 67 over 90. That gives 20,100. 20,100. So in other words, 20,100 is the inventory balance that will be reported by the consolidated entity on December 31, 20x4. Next, we go to numbers 22 to 24. On January 1, 20x4, parent company acquired 90% ownership of subsidiary corporation at underlying book value. The fair value of the non-controlling interest at the date of acquisition was equal to 10% of the book value of subsidiary corporation. So 10%, the fair value of the non-controlling interest was equal to 10% of the book value of subsidiary corporation. On March 17, 20x4, subsidiary purchased inventory from parent for 90,000. Subsidiary sold the entire inventory to an unaffiliated company for 120,000 on November 21, 20x4. Parent had produced the inventory sold to subsidiary for 62,000. The companies had no other transactions during 20x4. Number 22, what amount of sales will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement? So the amount of sales that will be reported in the consolidated income statement is the sales to outsiders, because sales to outsiders or unaffiliated companies is not to be eliminated. So meaning it will remain in the consolidated income statement. Number 22, letter B, 120,000. Next, number 23, what amount of cost of goods sold will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement? So the amount of cost of goods sold is the cost of the inventory produced by the parent. So we have now the amount of letter A. The inventory produced by the parent and sold to subsidiary, in other words, is a downstream sales. And that's the cost of goods sold that will be reported. Number 24, what amount of consolidated net income will be assigned to the controlling shareholders for 20x4? So the question here is asking for the consolidated net income that will be assigned to the controlling shareholder. For number 24, the answer is letter C. Number 24, how did we arrive at letter C, or 55,000? The consolidated net income for 20x4 is computed as follows. P Company's net income from own operations is 90,000 minus 62,000. So that's 28,000. There is no realized profit in beginning inventory. There is no unrealized profit in ending inventory. So we now get the realized net income from separate operations of B Company equal to 28,000. Next, we go to S Company's net income from own operations equal to 120,000 minus 90,000. So the difference of 30,000, that's your S Company's net income from own operations, considering that there is no realized profit in beginning inventory nor unrealized profit in ending inventory. So that as company's net income from own operations is the amount of 30,000. Adding 28,000, P companies realized net income to S companies realized net income of 30,000. We now get the total of 58,000. And from 58,000, we deduct the non-controlling interest in net income equal to 3,000. That's the non-controlling interest in net income. So, the controlling interest in consolidated net income is equal to the amount of 55,000. Letter C. Now, again, how did we get the amount of 3,000 for the non-controlling interest? We are deducting non-controlling interest of 3,000. And how did we get it? Now, the non-controlling interest in net income for 20x4 is computed as follows. S company's net income for from own operations is 30,000. And then we are now multiplying 30,000 by 10%. So the non-controlling interest in the net income of the subsidiary is 3,000. So that's how we got 3,000. Answers to numbers 22 to 24. Now we go to numbers 25 down to 28. Patty Company holds 80% of the common stock of Shannon. In the current year, Patty reports sales of 10 million and cost of goods sold of 7.5 million. For the same period, Shannon has sales of 200,000 and cost of goods sold of 160,000. During the year, Patty sold merchandise to Shannon for 60,000 at a price based on the normal markup. At the end of the year, Shannon still possesses 30% of this inventory. So this time, Patty is the one selling merchandise to Shannon. In other words, again, we have a downstream sales. And that at the end of the year, the inventory still in the possession of Shannon is still equal to 30%. Now compute the consolidated sales in number 25. P company sales 10 million, and then S company is equal to 200,000. The total sales of 10 million 200,000, And then we deduct the intercompany sales, meaning the sales of Patty to Shannon. And we have the intercompany sales. It stated that during the year, Patty sold merchandise to Shannon for 60,000. So we are now going to deduct the amount of 60,000, and we have the difference of 10,140,000. That's now your consolidated sales. So take note that we are eliminating the intercompany sales of 60,000. So for requirement number 25, our letter answer is C. Number 26, compute the consolidated cost of goods sold. So the consolidated cost of goods sold. Again, let's try to work on the column cost of goods sold. We begin with P Company. Cost of goods sold is 7,500,000 for cost of goods sold, and then S Company for 160,000. Okay? So we have the total of 7,660,000, and then we are going to deduct the upstream sales of 60,000. 60,000. So that gives us 7,600,000. Okay? And we are going to add the unrealized profit. We are going to add the unrealized profit in the ending inventory of S Company. Take note that as stated in the problem, at the end of the year, Shannon still possesses 30% of this inventory. So if you multiply 60,000 by 30%, we have 18,000. That's the inventory left with S Company. So 18,000, we multiply 18,000 by 10 minus 750. So that will be 250 over 10, or that's equal to 4,500. Okay? I'll repeat. Unrealized profit in ending inventory of Shannon Company. 60,000. That's the amount of sales times 30%. So you get 18,000. Then 18,000, we multiply that by 250 over 10. So that gives us 25% of 18,000, or 4,500. We have 10 minus 750, and we divide that by 10. So it gives us 4,500. That is the unrealized profit in the ending inventory of S Company. Okay, so you now get your cost of sales in letter D, 7,604,500. That's the consolidated cost of goods sold. Then to number 27, compute the consolidated gross profit. In number 27, consolidated gross profit is computed as 10,140,000. The answer to number 25, 10,140,000 minus 7,604,500. The answer to number 26. So it gives us 2,535,000. That's the answer to number 27. We go to number 28. And number 28 now is asking for the the same information except that Shannon sold inventory to Patty. Compute consolidated sales. In other words, instead of Patty selling inventory to Shannon, now it's the one Shannon selling inventory to Patty. So for number 28, we have B company, 10 million. We add sales of S, 200,000, total of 10,200,000, and we have to deduct intercompany sales in the amount of 60,000. We still have the consolidated sales in number 28 equal to 10,140,000. So it's still letter C. Next, number 29 to 30. 29 to 30. Nolan owns 100% of the capital stock of both Twill Corporation and Web Corporation. Twill purchases merchandise inventory of Web at 140% of Web's cost. During 20X4, Web sold merchandise that had cost it 40,000 to 12. Now, take note that we already have three parties. Nolan owns 100% of the capital stock of both Twill and Web. So, in other words, there are two subsidiaries, which subsidiaries are 100% or wholly owned by Nolan. Twill purchases merchandise inventory of Web, being another subsidiary, at 140% of Web's cost. During 20X4, Web also sold merchandise that had cost it 40,000 to Twill. Twill sold all of this merchandise to unrelated customers for 81,200 during 20X4. In preparing combined financial statements for 20X4, Nolan's bookkeeper disregarded the common ownership of Twill and Web. Number 29, what amount should be eliminated from cost of goods sold in the combined income statement for 20X4? Okay, so what amount should be eliminated? So we now get 40,000 multiplied by 140%. 40,000, multiply that by 140%. Now we have, during 20X4, Web sold merchandise that had cost it 40,000 to 12. However, the charging is at 140%. So we now get 140% of 40,000. Number 29 is letter A. Then number 30, but by what amount was unadjusted revenue overstated in the combined income statement for 20X4? By what amount was unadjusted revenue overstated in the combined income statement for 20X4? Now, in number 30, we compute as 56,000 minus 40,000. 56,000 minus 40,000. So, it's the overprice of 40% of 40,000. So, we get 16,000. Next, we go to numbers 31 and 32. 31 and 32 with this problem. P company regularly sells merchandise to its 80% owned subsidiary, S Corporation. In 20X4, P sold merchandise that had cost 192,000 2S for 240,000. Okay, so the one selling is P, now selling merchandise 2S. Half of this merchandise remained in S December 31, 20X4 inventory. During 20X5, P sold merchandise that cost 300,000 to S for 375,000. 40% of this inventory remained in the December 31, 20X4 inventory. This time, selected income statement information for the two affiliates for the year 20X5 is as follows. Okay, so we have now the sales of P&S for the current year, 20X5, and then we have the cost of goods sold, giving us the gross profits of 360,000 and 150,000. Consolidated sales revenue for P and subsidiary for 20X5R. So we have now in number 31, we compute since we are asked for cost of goods sold. This time we create two columns. The first column will be for sales and the second column will be for cost of goods sold. So column 1 sales, column 2 cost of sales. Now in 20X5, P company sales 1.8 million, cost of sales 1,440,000. Then S company sales 900,000 and cost of goods sold of 750,000. So the total of sales 2.7 million for a total sales and cost of sales 2,190,000. We deduct intercompany sales of 375,000 and we also deduct that from cost of sales, our intercompany sales. So we have now the difference, the realized profit in the beginning inventory of S company is equal to 240,000, but we multiply that by 1/2 because stated half of this merchandise remained in the ending inventory in 20X4. So multiplying 240,000 times 1/2, the ending inventory is 120,000, and then we multiply that by 240 minus 192 over 240. So we have now 240 or 240,000 times 1/2 is 120,000, and then we multiply 120,000 by the result of dividing here 240 minus 192 divided by 240. So I'll repeat, 240,000 times 1/2 equals 120,000 multiplied by numerator 240 minus 192, denominator 240. So the result is 24,000, which we are going to add to cost of sales. So we have now the realized profit in the beginning inventory of S company. Realized profit in the beginning inventory of S company. Then we have to add unrealized profit in ending inventory of S company. So we have now 375,000. That's the ending inventory. 375,000 multiplied by 40% equals 150,000 times the result of dividing the difference between 375 and 300 over 375. So we now get 30,000. We add to the column cost of sales. So I'll repeat, we have add unrealized profit in ending inventory of S company. 375,000 times 40% equals 150,000. Then 150,000, we multiply it by the numerator is 375 minus 300. Denominator is 375. So the result is 30,000. Okay? So 30,000 is to be added while 375,000 and 24,000 to be deducted. So the answers are to number 31, the consolidated sales revenue would be 2,325,000, and that's letter A. Whereas the consolidated cost of goods sold or cost of sales is 1,821,000. That's letter C. 1,821,000, letter C. Next, we go to numbers 33 and 34. Number 33 and 34. P company owns 80% ownership in S company. During 20X4, S sells merchandise to P for 150,000 at a profit of 30,000. On December 31, 20X4, 50% of this merchandise is included in P's inventory. Income statement for P&S are summarized below. So we have now the sales of P&S, and we have the cost of sales, operating expenses, and finally, net income. So, see, for P company sales, 900,000, cost of sales, 450,000, and operating expenses, 225,000. So, the net income is 225,000. For S, sales of 450,000, cost of sales, 300,000, and we have operating expenses of 60,000. So the net income of 90,000. In number 33, controlling interest in consolidated net income for 20X4 is. Okay, we have to compute for the consolidated interest in consolidated net income, and we have the non-controlling interest in number 34. So let's start with, okay, consolidated net income for 20X4, P company's net income from own operations, net income of 225,000. There is no realized profit in beginning inventory nor unrealized profit in ending inventory. So we have now P company's realized net income from separate operations of 225,000 as given in the problem. Then S company's net income from own operations given in the problem is 90,000. From 90,000, we deduct the realized profit in beginning inventory of P company for the unrealized profit. By the way, the realized profit is 0, but the unrealized profit in ending inventory of B company for 150,000 times 50%, since 50% of the inventory here remained for 75,000. So for 75,000, we multiply it by 30 over 150. So the result of 15,000. 90,000 minus 15,000, the unrealized profit, we have the difference of 75,000. That's as companies realize net income from separate operations. So we have 75,000. Add 225,000 and 75,000. The total is 300,000. From 300,000, we are going to deduct the non-controlling interest of 15,000. So that gives us controlling interest in consolidated net income. We have 285,000. That's now letter B, 285,000. Then number 34, the non-controlling interest for 20x4 is letter C. The non-controlling interest is computed by multiplying 75,000. That's the realized net income of S company from own operations, and then you multiply that by 20%. By 20% because the controlling interest is 80%. So the non-controlling interest is 20%. So the answers are number 33, B as in boy, and number 34, letter C. Next, we go to numbers 35 to 38. With this problem, Acres Company, 80% owned subsidiary of Solutions Corporation, sells inventory to Solutions at 30% profit on selling price. The following data are available pertaining to intercompany purchases by Solutions. So take note that Acres Company sells inventory to Solutions. So we have now the intercompany purchases by Solutions. For the intercompany sales, unsold at year-end based on selling price at the end of 20x4, 5, and 6. Acres profit numbers were 84,000, 102,000, and 112,800 for 20x4, 20x5, and 20x6 respectively. Solutions received dividends from Acres of 12,000 for 20x4 and 20x5 and 18,000 for 20x6. Using the cost method, the dividend income of Solutions amounted to. Okay, again, let me repeat. Under the cost method, the investment account should be reported at cost, regardless of net income earned or regardless of dividends received or given. So in this connection, we record any amount of dividends received or given. They are not recorded as adjustments to the investment account. But dividends received will be recorded as dividend income. Okay, so that in number 35, the question is, the dividend income of Solutions amounted to. And as stated, Solutions received dividends from Acres in the amount of 12,000 for 20X4 and X5 and 18,000 for 20X6. So in number 35, the dividend income of Solutions in number 35, it's 20X4 and 20X5. The amount of 12,000 times 80%. Since Solutions owns only 80%. So we get 9,600 for 20X4 and the same in 20X5. In 20X6, the amount of dividends received amounted to 18,000 times 80%. So we get 14,400. That gives letter A for number 35. In number 36, using the equity method, the equity in net earnings of Solutions amounted to. So in number 36, as we have to understand that under the equity method, the investment account is debited upon investment. But for the share of the parent in the subsidiary's net income, you have to debit as well the investment account. And for the share dividends, you have to credit the investment account. In other words, the investment account should be reported at its equity at the end of the period and not at cost. So in number 36, using the equity method, the equity in net earnings of Solutions amounted to. So for the answer to number 36, in 20X4, we multiply 84,000 times 80%. So that gives us 67,200 and we deduct 1,440 times 30% times 80%. 1,440 times 30% times 80%. So we now get the result of 67,200 and then we deduct 1,440 times 30% is now equal to 432 and then we multiply that by 80%, giving us the result of 345.60. Okay, so we now get this 7,200 and 1,440 times 30% times 80% is 345.60, leaving the difference equal to 66,854.40. Now the question is, using the equity method, the equity in net earnings of Solutions amounted to. So we now have as stated, Acres profit numbers where we have 84,000 in the first year, but we have to multiply that by 84,000, you multiply that by 80% because the ownership is only 80%. There is a 20% non-controlling interest. But the result of multiplying 84,000 by 80% of 67,200 should be reduced by the result of multiplying 1,440, that's the amount of the ending inventory, so as stated, unsold at year end based on selling price. So since it's based on selling price, then you multiply that by 30% and still to multiply that by 80%. So we now get the result of 6,854.40. In other words, the amount of net income, the share of the parent in the subsidiary should be reduced by the unrealized profit in the ending inventory. And that the ending inventory's cost is carried at, or the inventory is carried at 30% profit on selling price. And you multiply that by 80% being the controlling interest rate. So we now get for 20x4 the amount of 66,854.40. In 20x5, we have 102,000. That's the amount of profit of acres. Then we multiply that by 80%. By 80%. And we add 1,440 times 30% times 80% because that's already our ending inventory now, already sold in 20x5. So we now get the realized profit on the inventory, and that's now considered sold in 20x5. And still, as we go further, we deduct 4,800. That's the ending inventory in 20x5. We multiply by 30% by 80%. So you get 80,793.60. And for 20x6, we have the amount of 112,800. That's your realized or the profit of acre, 112,800. We multiply by 80%. And then we add 4,800 times 30% times 80%. Again, that's the ending inventory last year that became the beginning inventory in 20x6. Kaya nag-beginning inventory siya, assumed na nga nabaligya na during 20x6. So you already consider the realized profit. And further, we deduct 3,600. Again, that's the ending inventory in 20x6. Still, you multiply that by 30% times 80%. I'll repeat the 20x6 answer. 112,800 times 80%. Okay, the result of that plus 4,800 times 30% times 80%. And we deduct 3,600 times 30% times 80%. So we now get 90,528, giving us the answer to number 35. That's letter C. Number 35 is letter C, using the cost method. The dividend income, by the way, in number 35, I'm sorry, in number 35, our answer is A. I have already given you the solution. In number 36, the answer is C. 35A, cost method. 36C. Okay, under the equity method. 37, What would be the net debit or credit to cost of goods sold on the 20x5 consolidated worksheet? Okay, what would be the net debit or credit to cost of goods sold on the 20x5 consolidation or consolidated worksheet? So we now get the answer of uh, 14,400 plus 432 minus 1,440. So 14,832 minus 1,440. The result is 13,392. So number 37, the answer is B, 13,392. If we try to analyze number 37 involving the sales of 14,400 in 20x5. Okay? 20x5 because in number 37, the subject is 20x5. If we try to trace the journal entry affecting number 35, number 37, I mean, then it will be to eliminate debit to sales 14,400 and credit to cost of sales or purchases for 14,400. And as stated, we have now Acres Company, an 80% owned subsidiary of Solutions, sells inventory to Solutions. So it is an upstream sale. Upstream sale. So for 20x5, if you are going to eliminate the sales made by Acres to the parent, it will be to eliminate sales by 14,400 and credit to cost of sales by 14,400. That's our first elimination entry. Then, if we are going to move further, we multiply 1,440, that's the ending inventory, and you multiply that by 30%. So you now get 432. Why 30%? That's your markup rate charged by subsidiary to parent. So we can now debit to retained earnings of B beginning, retained earnings of P beginning, and we debit also non-controlling interest equal to credit cost of sales by 432 by 432. Now we have the amounts to be debited to retained earnings for beginning equal to 345.60. 345.60. And debit to non-controlling interest by 8640. I'll repeat. Debit first, we compute for 1,440 times 30% equals 432. We are now dealing with the ending inventory of 1,440, and then you multiply that by the markup rate. So the profit thereon is 432. Our entry will be to debit retained earnings of P beginning 345.60 Then we also debit to non-controlling interest for 86.40 and credit to cost of sales for the beginning inventory in the income statement for 432. Repeat, debit to retained earnings, P, at the beginning of the period, 345.60, multiplying 80% by 432. Then we also debit NCI or non-controlling interest, 86.40, taken by multiplying 432 by 20%. So it's 6.40 and credit cost of sales. In the beginning inventory in the income statement, we credit 432. And then for another entry will be to debit cost of sales in the ending inventory in the income statement, 1,440 and credit inventory for the ending inventory of 1,440. 4,800, that's for 20x5. Multiply that by 30%. So debit cost of sales for 1,440 and credit inventory, the ending inventory 1,440. Okay, so we have now the 2 years with 14,400, no? And giving us the unsold inventories at the end of the year. Now, number 37, the answer is B as in boy. Number 37 is B as in boy. 13,392. 13,392. 37 B as in boy. 14,400 plus 432 minus 1,440. I'll repeat, number 37, 14,400 plus 432 minus 1,440 equals 13,392. So 37 is B as in boys. 38, what would be the debit to retained earnings regarding the 20x4 consolidation entry related to the unrealized inventory profit? Now, in number 38, there are no intercompany profit in 20x3 being the prior year. So, no need to adjust retained earnings. 38 is A. Okay, we now go to numbers 39 to 42. 39 to 42. Okay. Lorne Corporation purchased inventory from Dresser Corporation for 120,000 on September 20, 20x4 and resolved 80% of the inventory to unaffiliated companies prior to December 31, 20x4 for 140,000. Dresser produced the inventory sold to Lorne for 75,000, owns 70% of Dresser's voting common stock. The companies had no other transactions during 20x4. In number 39, what amount of sales will be reported in the 20x4 consolidated income statement? So in number 39, we have what amount of sales will be reported in the consolidated income statement. So we have letter C. That's the amount of 140,000. You will include it in the consolidated income statement if you have your sales to unrelated or unaffiliated companies. So 39C. 40, what amount of cost of goods sold will be reported in the 20X4 consolidated income statement. So in the amount paid by Lorne Corporation is 120,000. Okay, so the amount paid by Lorne Corporation, 120,000. Then we are going to deduct the unrealized profit of 45,000. The unrealized profit of 45,000. We now get the actual cost equal to 75,000. Okay? So, 75,000, that's given for the actual cost. So, meaning the unrealized profit is the difference. Then we have the portion sold, only 80%. So, the cost of goods sold is 60,000. So, number 40 is letter A. 41, what amount of consolidated net income will be assigned to the controlling interest for 20X4? So in number 41, what amount of consolidated net income? We begin with consolidated sales of 140,000, then deduct cost of goods sold 60,000. So we have the consolidated net income of 80,000. The income to dressers, non-controlling interest, sales, 120,000. We deduct the reported cost of sales of 75,000. Then we have the reported income of 45,000. Then the portion realized, only 80%. The realized net income is 36,000. Then we have the income to the non-controlling interest, 30% because the ownership is 70% by the parent. So the non-controlling interest is 30%. Okay? So we now get 10,800 deducted from the consolidated net income of 80,000. Deduct 10,800, the non-controlling interest. So the income to the controlling interest is 69,200. Okay, so that's letter E for number 41. The income to controlling interest is 69,200. What inventory balance will be reported by the consolidated entity on December 31, 20X4? So number 42, the inventory reported by Lorne is 24,000. The unrealized profit thereon is 45,000 times 20%. So we get 9,000. The ending inventory reported is 15,000. The ending inventory reported is 15,000. So number 42 is letter A. Now the next problem is a very, very long problem that requires solution. Numbers 43 here. I think the numbering is wrong, no, for that. However, we have only 43 up to number 47, not 70. 43 up to 47, that's for sub-company. And then 48 to 49, another problem. So please make correction. It's not a very long problem. Okay? So I am through with the problems that I asked you to answer. But anyway, I can move on and give you the letter answers to remaining not so many problems. Okay. I will give you letter answers only from numbers 43 up to 43 up to number 74. 43 up to number 74. I hope you will be solving this. Okay? For your own benefit. 43 up to number 74. Okay? Yes, 74. So number 43, the answer is letter A. 43 is letter A. So anyway, go on with letter A, 44, C, 45, A, 46, dog, 46, dog. Okay. Number 47, A, 48C, 49A, 50A, 51A, 52A, 53 dog, 54 dog, 55 boy, 56A, 57 boy, 58 dog, 59A, 60 dog, 61A, 62C, 63A, 64 boy. Ignore number 65 because there are some missing items. 66 C, 67 boy, 68 boy, 69A, 70 boy, 71A, 72C, 73C, 74 boy. Okay? So that's all for this evening. We will be meeting tomorrow and your test will be on Friday evening. Okay? So God bless you.